Mike Smitheman. Mike, why don't you go ahead and raise your hand? Mike is the VP of Marketing at GoodData. Mike's in from San Francisco here today, but he flew directly from London and San Francisco to get here. So we're really forming an international crowd. People are coming from all over the world for Innovation in Motion. We're excited about that. Big Data offers a range of business intelligence software and reporting tools to help companies monetize big data. We're going to be talking about some of their SaaS services tonight. So now, Mike, why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about big data, who you are, what your company does, and we want to understand what is your product.
Sure. So, Mike Smitheman, Vice President of Marketing over at GoodData. I've spent my career in the business intelligence space with a number of companies doing everything from operations and sales to eventually product management and marketing. And if we go to the next slide, GoodData was founded back in '07, so we're about 5 years old, 2 years in market in the US, about 230 employees today, about 8,000 customers using our platform. It's a cloud platform, as you'll see, loading data from about 20,000 different sources on a daily basis into that platform, so we're doing this at scale. And really our vision is about turning big data into good data. As a marketing person, it's kind of one of the best company names I've had to work with to date. It's great from a branding perspective. But what we essentially do, if you just bring up the bullet points, is we have a business intelligence platform that we host in the cloud. And so what is that? We do everything from connecting into all the data sources that a company might be interested in measuring, whether they're within their firewall, their ERP systems, their billing systems, whether it's systems out in the cloud, such as social data or Salesforce, whatever it might be. We pull that into our platform, we crunch that data, we provide meaningful metrics, reports, and dashboards back to business users. So typically our software is being bought to solve particular line of business problems, such as sales performance, such as marketing analytics, customer support, or help desk systems. It's a line of business users wanting to get visibility into their data and ask meaningful business questions out of it.
So I have a huge Salesforce.com database.
Yep.
Leads have been going through them, marketing leads, sales leads. I see my accounts, people have bought things. I come to you and I'm like, here, plug it into your platform, and I'm going to get meaningful data out there that's going to be useful to my team.
Exactly, and in a lot of cases it will be multiple sources of data, right? It's looking at your sales data related to your billing or service data related to your customer satisfaction. You know, bringing all these together, providing a single view onto that.
Right, so you're taking things like actions and actual purchases and you're relating them to billing, so
Absolutely.
There's multiple different layers on top of it.
Absolutely.
And you come back with specific recommendations, or are people seeing like a back-end panel with charts and numbers and they have to sort of figure it out?
Both. We do an element of sort of predictive type analysis as well as sort of historical and real-time reporting on that data.
Okay, and your stuff sits on top of marketing automation tools like Eloqua, Marketo?
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
and we'll talk through some examples of that later.
And both of you two are coming in and analyzing the companies. They're not just jumping on your website, plugging their stuff in. It's a huge process. They're understanding this, what they need, what are the different areas you're going to tackle, what are the layers they're going to put on top of it, and they're going to go in that way.
Yeah, these data problems are not simple problems to solve, right? Getting access to the data is one thing. Working out what's meaningful and how you're going to use it is what really drives adoption within a business. So, yeah, these are, from our perspective, again, we're a complete platform in the cloud, and it's quicker to get up and running than the sort of legacy BI, which was always a value chain of multiple products and multiple technologies. But ultimately, yeah, it's a project, and you have to go through the requirements and you have to go through the implementation. So I guess backing up one step, is big data a big company problem? I don't believe it is. It's something whenever I'm doing press interviews or analyst interviews, they always ask that question. And reality is, big data is a problem for everyone. And I think it's because of a number of trends that are taking place. The 90% of data created in the last 2 years, the migration of data from inside an organization. There was a time when we could just create a data warehouse and we would pull all the information we needed from that. Now there's social systems, there's systems out in the cloud, everything is migrating. And so even the startup type companies we work with, there's all this data out there about their organization, whether they like it or not. There's people talking about them in the social spheres, there's a sentiment about their business. So, big data is real for everyone, and, I don't think it's a choice whether you deal with it or not. It's out there, and you have to deal with it. And I think really it's the same as what Ken was saying. The way we approach it with our customers is it's not a big data problem, it's what business questions you're trying to answer, and whether that's a line of business, whether it's a departmental problem that we're trying to solve, and we try and back that up with big data. We try and pull all the relevant sources of data that can help us answer those business questions. And so it's a very top-down approach to it.
So the clients are absolutely, you're going in there and saying, what's the problem you want to solve? They're telling you everything. Like, you're not helping them really figure that out.
It's not that case. Typically, we're going in and people know that they need to be doing a better job of analyzing data and measuring data. In a lot of cases, they're looking to us to be thought leaders in particular use cases. At the end of the day, I mentioned we have over 8,000 customers running on the platform. The advantage of being a cloud vendor is we know exactly what they're all doing, and we know exactly how they're measuring their business. That's knowledge we can take back out to the market, and we absolutely do that. We lead people through, if you have a marketing analytics problem, here's the sort of metrics you should be looking at, here's the sort of reports you should be analyzing, and that gets them off the ground, and they tend to evolve from there.
And I do think anyone of any size company can be using, that exact same tool.
Yeah, I think we get tight. I think there's two conversations going on around big data. There's a technology conversation, which is the Hadoops of this world, the Hawks. There's all these names for these bits of technology that have grown out of companies who needed to solve an internal use case that they have, and they've been open sourced, and they're very technical. They're very focused around a particular use case. There's then the conversation going on that we're having, I think, which is, what's the business value of data in general? I think that's what we're seeing in the market. That's where we're seeing the opportunity is people know there's a lot of data out there, whether it's unstructured, whether it's large volumes, and it's really how do I make sense of that?
Well, let's see. Mike, you have a couple examples here. Let's see how you guys at GoodData have made sense of it.
So I've been greedy and taken two examples. And
I almost cut one. I was like, Mike sent me two case studies.
But there is a reason. So the first one is exactly what we were just talking about. So it's Time Warner Cable, and really they're not trying to answer anything new within their business, right? The questions they're trying to answer are the same questions they were trying to answer 10 years ago or however long ago, and it's really the volume of data and the volume of information that they've got access to now that makes it difficult to get visibility into that. So their problem was they have a huge direct inside sales force that is selling within their business, and their challenge, I think they have 50,000 seats of Salesforce.com that they roll out, and their challenge is making sense of what's going on in the sales force. So who's performing, who isn't, what's working, what isn't, what activities are the sales guys doing to drive new business. And as an inside sales team, it's a pretty scientific process. There's calls coming in, they're converting deals, and so all they wanted to do was just get visibility into that. And that's a tough problem to solve. It's a lot of data, it's changing on an hourly basis, and what they did with our platform was really, again, just get visibility into that sales operation, be able to push it out to the field to thousands of users, roll it up through the sales organization, and get better visibility into what was working and what wasn't.
So rolling it out actually to their inside sales reps to be able to see information and make it, humanize it.
How am I performing against peers, and then rolled up to an exec level, what's the profile of the business and what's working, what isn't.
Okay, I like that example.
The second example, I should probably just preface this. So half of our business at GoodData is selling what I would call embedded analytics to other software companies and other companies who need to provide data to their customers. So think agencies as an example. And it's not their core business, but they know that there's value in the data that they generate on their platform. And so they can either build that themselves as part of their product roadmap, or they can come to a vendor like GoodData and use us almost as an OEM type offering. And we work in that way with huge companies. I'll talk about Zendesk. We also work with pre-product companies, so startup organizations who are building out a product, They know they need reporting as part of it, and from the get-go, they're embedding us into that roadmap. And so Zendesk, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of them, but they provide customer support help desk application in the cloud, so ticketing systems, and they use GoodData to power the analytics within their system, and they have a sort of freemium model. So there's a base set of reports that they deliver as part of their solution, and we're part of a premium upsell to their customers around advanced reporting. And again, the scale, when you do that for an individual customer, report on their help desk, not such a big deal. It's easy to get metrics and reports out of there. They have thousands of premium customers. So we're loading data into the platform from thousands of their customers on an hourly basis, and providing analytics back to their 2,000, 3,000 customers around how their individual operations are performing. And so, the scale of one company replicated, thousands of times makes it a big data problem.
Because you're then giving it back to them and breaking it into line items, and they can actually look at like how the results are in specific areas and pick out little things.
Exactly. So they're Zendesk customers are looking at these reports for their own business, trending their sort of ticket volumes, their resolution rates, their
and they could have one thing like resolution rates, and they could focus on that, and that you help that question.
Exactly.
You get humanized.
And then Zendesk actually use it to benchmark their customer base. So they have thousands of customers with this analytics going on, and they can provide benchmarks on best practices in help desk and support analytics back to their customers.